Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Andrews, Coach D. Just wanted to take a few moments and just say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope you're at home and, like I am, enjoying my family. I was able to take a break here for a moment, a pause, and come on and share some thoughts during this downtime that we all have. And so, chances are a lot of you probably not on LinkedIn right now, but when you get back on, hopefully this message will be sitting there and it can resonate in some way. But there's been so much that has gone on this year. It's been a challenging year, to say the least, for many people. And so when we think about family and Thanksgiving, now it's just a special time for us to really embrace how much important it is to have the love for family, um, to be able to sit down and relax and enjoy each other. If you have any, differences of opinion, forgive one another, and just kind of decompress and enjoy the day. That's what I've been doing with my family. I've actually had a few virtual family Thanksgiving get-togethers. One on my mother's side and another on my father's side, and that was fantastic. Be able to reconnect with some people I haven't seen in a while. And I would say that, if you don't do these type of things, think about using this tool, these virtual tools to connect with your family. It's amazing what can take place. But I just want to take a few moments because I think it's important to understand the importance, the significance of a person's heritage. And so, I remember having conversations with people over the years about Thanksgiving. And, whenever I would try to mention, the contributions of my ancestors and the ancestors of many people of color, as it relates to this day, it's like a lot of times people don't even want to talk about it. Like it's not a point of conversation that many people want to have. And so I always, when it comes to Thanksgiving, for me, I always add to the conversation, that there are people that are part of my lineage, my heritage, who made some tremendous sacrifices for me to be where I am today. A lot of times people can forget, you can start having success in your career or live in a beautiful new home or something of that nature. And you can kind of forget that you're standing on the shoulders of giants. And I'm not one to forget. I think about both my grandmothers. One grandmother is 95 years old. She's still alive and still strong and very vibrant. But I remember as a kid, she would work three jobs. None of them were really high paying jobs because she couldn't really get the high paying jobs, but just three jobs to be able to take care of her family and be a blessing to everyone. I remember, at 95, she would tell me some of the stories of things she had to experience, but she persevered. She fought through. And I remember we lived in a place in Syracuse, New York called the Pioneer Homes Projects. That's where a lot of people of color lived when I was a child in Syracuse. And I'll never forget, with her hard work, determination, and drive, when she bought her first home. And that was a game changer for me, because to see her in the home that she still lives in to this day, was just a miracle for me. Because it was, when I was a kid, the thought of a person of color living in a home in my town just really didn't exist that much. And so, considering what she had to go through from being born in 1925 and up to where she is today, and the values that she passed on to me and my, others in the family, I can't ignore that. That's part of my history. That's part of our heritage. That's part of what made me the man I am today. And I'm not the only person she impacted. I had another grandmother who was just a sweetheart. My father's mother, who, if you ever saw the movie The Help, that's my grandmother. She was the help. And so she worked in someone's home and had to clean their home and take care of their children, and did it with a smile on her face every single day. But she would get on that bus, drive out right out to the suburbs in the morning, because she watched my brother and I for a few years when my mom had to leave town to try to start a new life for us. And She would get us up, get us out to school, and she would get on that bus, go out to the suburbs, take care of those folks and their children, come back home. And by the time we got home from school, dinner was prepared, and just did what she had to do. There's many others I can talk about when it comes to this. So, and if you go back into the building of our nation, there were many people who bore on their backs the building of different aspects of our country with no personal benefit to them whatsoever, but they did it. You know what I mean? They were many times forced to, and but they did it, and they just kept persevering. They kept pressing forward. They didn't quit. They didn't, with all the pain of some of the things that they had to do. When you think back to slavery, the pain of it, but they just didn't quit. And they kept fighting and kept standing and kept trying, and would have great things happen and then would lose great things. I think about the Wall Street incident of the 1921, the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, how they started building wealth and it was taken away from them. And so but they didn't quit. They kept on. And now today you got the Oprah Winfrey's of the world and many other people who are really riding on the back shoulders of those people. And so, I just wanted to say that I'm proud of the people that gone before me, that stood the test of time, persevered the pain, the ups and downs, to open up the doors for people like myself to be able to do what I do. I consult and train corporations and organizations and businesses and school districts all over this country. And my ancestors didn't get a chance to do that. They weren't doing this kind of stuff, but their perseverance and determination opened up the door for people like me to do what I do. I'm an author of 8 books. I'm writing 2 more. That was because somebody made a sacrifice for me to be able to do that. So as we're sitting here and having Thanksgiving in my home, I'm also talking about the heritage from my people who made tremendous sacrifices for us to be sitting at this table and eating dinner. My grandmother didn't have these luxuries. My grandparents didn't have this. They didn't have these homes with tables and spreads and all of that. They didn't have that. And so as we're recognizing Thanksgiving, I want to recognize those folks. My grandfather, who was in World War II with no fanfare, as part of a Black troop. I mean, there's many, many others that were out there. If we go further back, living on these plantations and all of that, doing what they have to do to survive. It was critical for me to not say we're thankful for them too. Now, if we get into the details of all of this, we can start talking about actual outcomes and things that our country has benefited from, as far as, experiments and things that were invented and brilliant ideas and thoughts and things like that. I was just looking at this lecture that James Baldwin had, a debate that he had with William Buckley at one of the prestigious schools in England about, Black people and opportunities. And it was so eloquently stated in this debate, but this was back in 65. And I said, man, to hear him talk back in 65, it sounds very much like it does today, in 2020. But he was so articulate and did such a phenomenal job. And I applaud those folks because he was the only Black man in the room and he got a standing ovation, literally a standing ovation, what he said. So that means that those folks really received what he was talking about. And so I just want to say those people, we always talk about Dr. King and we always spoke, but there's Baldwin and there's so many others, Ida B. Wells. So we can go on and on. People you don't talk about that much, that laid a foundation for us to be where we are today in our nation, as Black Americans, but even with white Americans. Some of the work that they did is a blessing to you as well. And so I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, but I want to bring some recognition to those people who made tremendous sacrifices for me to be where I am today, because I know I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for their blood, sweat, and tears. So happy Thanksgiving for them as well. As we celebrate our nation, I want to celebrate some of the other folks who helped to make this nation what it is today. So enjoy your time with your family. Just enjoy them, spend time with your kids, let them know you love them. Forgive folks who you got challenges with, because right now we don't need to be angry at anyone. We got too many problems going on in our country. This is a time to show love and care for people. So take care, and I hope this information impacted somebody in a positive way. Take care.